Gentlemen, as Grand Marshal and Professor in Biological Sciences, I declare the 131st Commencement of the University of Rhode Island officially open. We will begin our ceremony with Danielle Grilly, class of 2017, who will sing the national anthem. Please, you're risen. Please remain standing for the dedication, which will follow the national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's
dedication for today's ceremony will be offered by Reverend Joseph Upton from Christ the King Church in Kingston. Reverend Upton is the chaplain and director of the Catholic Center at URI and a member of the URI Chaplains Association. Ladies and gentlemen, Father Joseph Upton.
Good morning, everyone. I'm truly honored and delighted to bring to you, our graduates and your guests, the greetings of the URI Chaplains Association. Sir Isaac Newton famously said that if we have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. I have the privilege today of dedicating our commencement exercises to those giants on whose shoulders you have stood, not only during your time at URI, but also throughout your lives. Those who have helped you see what the future could hold and how promising a future that could be. From family to friends, from teachers to support staff, and everyone in between, your achievement today, as much as it is truly yours, also belongs in part to those who have helped you along the way. The great hope and joy of this day is that because of all that has been given to you, you too will be generous as the next generation of URI graduates in helping others see how much brighter the future can be, how much more just and more peaceable the human family can become, how much better a world can be attained. So, dear graduates, congratulations on seeing further, on looking beyond the horizon. While so much lies ahead of you today, the greatest achievement you may one day treasure is the honor of hoisting a member of the next generation on your shoulders. To all the giants among us and to all those who have helped you see further, we dedicate this day and these commencement exercises.
Thank you, Father Upton. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Nasser Zawiya, Dean of the Graduate School.
Please be seated. Thank you all for assembling here today as we gather in celebration of scholarship and professionalism. It's truly an honor to stand before this impressive group of individuals and the loved ones who have come to bear witness to your success. The degree we confer upon you today stands as a testament to the commitment you demonstrated towards advancing your career and enhancing the quality of life through education. Ladies and gentlemen, presiding today will be the 11th President of the University of Rhode Island, Dr. David M. Dooley.
Thank you, Dean Zawiya. And thank you all for joining us today on this great day, the 125th anniversary of the University of Rhode Island, to celebrate with us our graduate commencement. Madam Chair, the Board of Education, Barbara Cottom, honored commencement speaker today, Thomas Farragher, URI Provost Donald DeHaze, distinguished members of the faculty, candidates for graduate degrees, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to the commencement of the University of Rhode Island for the Graduate School. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to share these moments with you for the 8th time, to share with your families and friends and with our faculty who have guided and mentored all of the students who we celebrate today. The degrees you will soon receive serve many purposes, depending upon your discipline, your goals, and your immediate plans. For some of you, the degree represents the entrance to a professional role. the essential credential that certifies you as prepared for professional practice. For others, the degree awarded today is the foundation for further and even more advanced study. And for some, it is a requirement that must be accomplished in order to pursue your goals, but carries no guarantee that you will actually be able to achieve what you set out to do. That will be up to you. Regardless of the individual import of the degree you have earned, it has taken a lot of talent, hard work, sustained commitment, discipline, and even courage to arrive at this moment. It is those qualities that we are here to celebrate, and it is your achievements and your dreams that all of us here are honored to acknowledge and support. As someone awarded or soon to be awarded a graduate degree, you already possess more knowledge than the vast majority of people on this planet will ever have. Indeed, you now know more than the vast majority of people who have ever lived. But it is not your knowledge that is your most admirable characteristic or the most important. Your courage and wisdom will ultimately matter far more than what you now know. More than your talent or your dedication, it is your courage that will determine your success. The wisdom you gain from your studies, your experiences, and from those around you will be a far more reliable guide than the knowledge you now possess. What we know changes every day. Knowledge is never permanent. Long before your parents were born, at the close of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, people in physics were largely convinced that practically everything important to understanding our physical world had then been discovered, and there was little of importance left to do. That was before the staggering counterintuitive complexities of quantum mechanics and the revelations of general relativity were known to us. Our universe turns out, as we now look back on it in the 21st century, to be far more interesting, far more complicated, and far more mysterious than humanity had ever before imagined. And that's just one example of the transitory nature of knowledge. Make great use of the knowledge you have gained, but have the wisdom to continue to learn. Develop and nurture the courage not merely to pursue your own dreams, but to help others to pursue theirs as well. By having the courage to dream and the wisdom to provide support for others to dream, we renew the possibility that facts out there actually have some basis in reality. You know those things are not true. And research universities exist primarily to do two things. We exist to discover the truth, and we exist to tell the truth. And as you leave the University of Rhode Island, you become, in each your own way, truth tellers. And for that, we applaud you, and we thank you in advance, and we look forward to supporting you in all the work that lies ahead of you. I just want to mention a couple of final things. We have a number of people here to celebrate with you. The first is the chair of the Board of Education, Barbara Cottom. She chairs a group who is responsible for the University of Rhode Island. These men and women who work as volunteers spend many hours diligently seeking to further enhance this great university and build upon its extraordinary strengths and vitality so that the university can best serve the people of Rhode Island and America in the ways that I've just indicated. It is my pleasure today to recognize those members of the board who have joined us. Would each member of the board stand as I read your name? Barbara Cottom, Heather Crosby, Karen Forbes. Thank you all for joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking today on behalf of the Rhode Island Board and the Rhode Island Governor, Gina Raimondo, is the chair of the board, Barbara Cottom. In addition to her role on the Rhode Island Board of Education, Barbara Cottom is Executive Vice President, a Rhode Island Market Executive, and Head of Corporate Affairs at Citizens Bank. Please welcome our chair, my friend and all of our supporter, Barbara Cottom.
Thank you, President Dooley, honored guests, faculty, administration, family, friends, and our graduates. On behalf of the Board of Education and my fellow board members, I applaud the class of 2017 for your collective achievements. It's an honor to participate today in the university's 125th commencement exercises. For 125 years, the University of Rhode Island has been at the center of Rhode Island's economy, first as a center of agricultural training, and today as the starting point for the next generation of business executives, public relations professionals, teachers, nurses, engineers, pharmacists, artists, journalists, scientists, and so much more. Your class of 2017 represents what Rhode Island needs: an educated workforce that can not only handle the challenges of the 21st century workplace, but also can help shape that workforce for a better future. URI is your starting point as our next generation of leaders. So in preparing for commencement, I was reflecting on the leadership program here at the university and how critical leadership skills are in our world today. While many associate leadership with power, influence, or loud commanding behavior, it is important to remember that leadership comes in many forms. Leadership is the compassionate guidance of a teacher to a student. Leadership is the engineer who unites a team to tackle a complex project. Leadership is the small business owner who gives each employee the opportunity to share ideas. Sometimes, quiet leadership is the most effective way to create transformational change. As you move on from URI, regardless of what comes next, keep that in mind. Leadership is a skill you develop through hard work, perseverance, and listening, and it doesn't always look the same. Be your own leader. But be a leader. In everything you do, strive to be that agent of change. This weekend, URI celebrates Agents of Change. It celebrates its commencement speakers, leaders like Tom Farragher from the Boston Globe and Vladimir Dudier from CBS News. These individuals and all of you here today remind me of a quote from the late President John Quincy Adams. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. You don't have to be the loudest voice to inspire someone to dream, and you don't have to be the most powerful person in the room to inspire someone to learn. And you do not have to be in that corner office to inspire someone to do more and be more. Find your own path and your own voice. Keep pushing yourself to dream, learn, and do more, and you will inspire others to do the same. Congratulations and best wishes for the success I know you will achieve as our next generation of leaders.
We are pleased to have with us today a member of the Graduate Student Association Executive Board to offer welcoming remarks on behalf of the class of 2017, Mrs. Elizabeth Kaur. Later today, under the guidance of her major professor, Bill Euler, Mrs. Kaur will receive her Master of Science in Chemistry, and in August, she will receive her Master of Business Administration. Please welcome Elizabeth Kaur.
Good morning. Distinguished guests, professors, dignitaries, family, friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduates. Thank you for having me here today. Earning a graduate degree is an accomplishment of the highest order, and I'd like to congratulate everyone here. For some of you, this is the first degree in your family. Some of us are the first ones in our family to even go to college. Some of us have known for years that this is where we wanted to end up, while some of us have chosen to go back to school later in life. We all traveled different paths to get here, but however you got here, congratulations, you did it. Take a moment and congratulate yourself and revel in that achievement. I would also like to invite all the guests here to share in our accomplishments. Because so many of you have invested in us, we are all sitting here today at the end of this journey. Most of us would not have made it to this day without help from someone else around us. If you have made it through graduate school with no outside help, then by all means, feel free to tune out this speech. But if we're honest with ourselves, most of us know there's someone else out there. Take a moment to consider. A mentor who guided you through your research, a parent who supported and believed in you, a spouse who gave up date nights so you could study, whoever helped you financially so your bills would be paid, the list goes on and on. As we leave here today, we could thank them, move on to the next chapter, and forge ahead. But I want us to do just a bit more than that. I want us to consider giving back to everybody who helped. They certainly deserve it. I'm sure there were days where you wanted to quit. But who was there to encourage you to keep your focus and keep going with what you needed to do? These are the people to whom we really owe our thanks. I know when I think about my family that I probably can't come up with something good enough to thank them. But I'm looking ahead and knowing that someday I'll have an opportunity to do even more for them. But maybe whoever helped you really doesn't want anything in return. Maybe they would rather you pay it forward. The world is full of places to serve if we only take the time to look. Many of my friends give back to their communities or venture to other communities to volunteer with Habitat for Humanity or the Red Cross. Still others give back to their church. Some tutor students in less affluent schools than where they grew up. Anyone on the receiving end of the help will certainly appreciate it. But here's the secret. I bet if you sacrifice a little bit of your time or money or skills to help someone out, you'll find that you have found some purpose deeper within. You'll reap more rewards than anything you give. If you find a purpose that you're passionate about, I guarantee you'll find fulfillment that you can't find elsewhere. Studies show that we're happier buying a gift for someone else than buying one for ourselves. Wouldn't it be worth a try, even if maybe it doesn't work and we don't get anything out of it? Then again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you won't be overjoyed doing work for someone else for no monetary gain. But even if I am wrong, someone has still come to appreciate what you've done for them. Certainly all that effort is not lost. Consider that only 12% of people over the age of 25 in the United States have advanced degrees. Now you're among them. Imagine how much potential there is sitting in this room today, and how much we can achieve by simply looking to our neighbors and seeing what needs they have. Imagine the creative solutions we can engineer to address the needs in our communities, in our nations, and in the world. So many people spend their lives searching for the next big thing for their fulfillment. We all want to be able to look back on our lives 25, 40, 50 years from now and feel gratified about what we've done. We want to know that we've helped change the world for the better, even just a little bit. I know that I will be most satisfied if I was able to help someone when they needed it most or to help them achieve one of their own dreams. As we leave here today, think back on everyone who has made a difference in your journey to get to this moment. There are a lot of teachers, coaches, leaders who probably don't know how much they have meant to us. Let's show them how much they have affected our lives. Let's make them proud to have supported us and let them see we've found the fulfillment that so many are still searching for. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. And to the URI Graduate School Class of 2017, I say congratulations, well done, and go change the world.
We are honored to introduce one of the university's distinguished guests, Thomas Farragher, who will receive the Honorary Doctor of Humane Letters as part of tomorrow's 131st undergraduate commencement ceremony. A quintessential journalist, Thomas Farragher has spent nearly 40 years using his instinct, talent, and dogged determination to find, research, and share genuine stories. He is well known as a columnist and associate editor of the Boston Globe. Yet, he is perhaps best known for his role on the Globe's Spotlight team. This team's courageous research and sustained determination revealed a decades-long cover-up of the sexual abuse of children by priests within the Archdiocese of Boston. Its exhaustive series exposed the egregious mistakes, sins, and crimes that were at the core of what became a national crisis. The team received a Pulitzer Prize for Public Services in 2003. In 2002, Mr. Farragher co-authored the book Betrayal, The Crisis in the Catholic Church, that pulled together more than a decade of the team's reporting on the scandal. The whole chilling, truthful story was then captured in the 2015 Academy Award-winning film Spotlight. The Spotlight team uncovered many more breaches in public faith, including rampant patronage in the Massachusetts Probation Department, monopolistic practices by hospitals, and dangerous overcrowding of college students in Boston apartments, a series that was a Pulitzer Prize finalist in 2015. Now, Mr. Farragher, a 1977 URI journalism graduate, says he proudly cut his teeth as a dedicated reporter and editor for URI's students' newspaper, The Good 5-Cent Cigar. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Thomas Farragher.
Morning, everybody. Thank you, Dean, for that overly generous introduction. It's great to be back in Kingston again on this beautiful campus where I fell in love with so many years ago, 40 years ago, actually. President Dooley, Dean Zawahiri, distinguished faculty, members of the URI staff, including the great Dave LaValle and Joanne Esposito, my new BFF, Professor Kendall Moore, is here. And I want to say congratulations to all the graduates perched on the launch pad to great things. I'm a trained observer, so I was watching just now when the dean introduced me, and I got this vibe from you, and correct me if I'm wrong here. I picked up something like this. You're sitting there and you're thinking, let's see, the commencement speaker somewhere else is Oprah or Ellen or Tom Hanks or Jennifer Lawrence, Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates, and we get this random newspaper guy from Boston. I feel your pain, but here's what I can promise you. Maybe I don't bring 15,000 watts of celebrity candle power, but I intend to make up with it with something even better, the kind of beautiful bliss that comes with brevity. Let's see if I can stick to that. I want to just acknowledge my personal cheering section this morning, my beautiful wife, Joni, my partner for the last 32 years, my two sons, Adam and Brendan, my daughter, Colleen, is out there in cyberspace somewhere looking in, I think, and my brother, Joe, is here. So So if you're looking for cues on when to applaud or when a standing ovation, just look down here and they'll lead you. Thanks, Joe. When Provost DeHaze called me and asked me if I would give this speech, I was so dumbfounded and perhaps a little bit too hydrated because I was in Key West at the time that I immediately accepted. And then I did what I suspect most first-time commencement speakers do. I headed straight for Google. That was a big mistake. Because here's the guidance you get from the internet intelligentsia. Actually, here's a good one. Be funny, be brief, be seated. You're advised to be profound and fully recognize the import of this milestone moment, or to be whimsical, or philosophical, or clever. And whatever you do, avoid commencement speech cliches. No one wants to hear that this is the beginning and not the end. Don't tell the graduates that this is their big day, or that the future belongs to them. And apparently, this is the commencement speaker's first commandment. Whatever you do, do not tell the graduates how humble and proud you are. So let's get this over with. I'm humble and proud. And here's why. I'm humble because I've done what any good newspaper reporter would do. I spent some time learning about you. And here's what I've learned. Everywhere you look this morning, there is a great story. I spent some time in Washington before I got to the Globe. And in those days, the Washington Post ran a great feature that was based on this premise. Give 3 reporters a hammer and a nail, and give them the District of Columbia telephone book. You know telephone book. It's like your iPhone contacts list on steroids. Anyway, you have them drive a nail into the telephone book, and wherever the tip of the nail lands, go find that person and write about them. And what that produced were wonderfully written vignettes of everyday people with powerful stories about lives of achievement or despair or courage, about love and jaw-dropping generosity. I could do the same with you. Look around, because in the next seat or the next row, there are great stories too. Stories like this. Seated here with us today is a single mom who juggled statistics analysis and first-grade homework help. She got her degree and got her child to school on time, and she always remembered to make sure he got there with his packed lunch. Or the woman whose grandmother in Martinique was unable to finish high school but lived long enough to see her granddaughter earn a degree this morning in fluid dynamics. Her mom has come here from Paris this morning to cheer her success. Or the young woman who will receive her master's in speech language pathology this morning. And boy, did she earn it. She was able to afford grad school in part by camping out in the summer at nearby campsites where she weathered thunderstorms and somehow managed to show up every morning a polished and an engaged professional. Or the stories of all the military veterans in caps and gowns this morning, including an environmental science and management student, a lifelong Rhode Islander, who has served our country in multiple deployments in the Middle East. He earned his degree in part by writing his major paper in a desert tent in a place far from home. When you're in the presence of greatness like that, humility comes naturally. Here's why I'm proud. I'm proud because I'm a product of URI. I learned the fundamentals of my profession right here on this campus from professors and instructors who, believe me, were no cookie-cutter drones. They were true characters. They bled journalism. To me, they were giants. In my mind's eye, they are painted in Technicolor. Let me tell you about 2 of them. Jack Thompson was a former newspaper reporter who brought a wit and a zeal into his classroom that I have never forgotten. In 1976, Jack took a bunch of us up to New Hampshire to cover the New Hampshire primary. And on that trip, Jack underlined for me what I always loved about him. Yes, journalists carry a serious responsibility. You must be fair. You must be fast. It's absolutely imperative that you get your facts straight. But here's what he also taught me. Journalism is so much fun, and boy, was he right. I've had a blast. And sometimes journalism can be poignant and powerful. A few years ago, I followed a young woman who at the age of 6 had been diagnosed with a brain tumor through her first year at Harvard. I chronicled the post-war life of veterans who were together in a Bradley fighting vehicle outside the Baghdad airport early one morning when a roadside bomb exploded, killing their friend, a young man from New Hampshire named Jeremy Rainier. An incredible story which underlined the lessons of war and the enormous human toll that it exacts. I've covered the death of a princess in presidential press conferences. I've covered criminals and con men and charlatans. I've worked with a great team of reporters on the Globe Spotlight team to help uncover what has been called the most important story in the history of the Boston Globe, the betrayal by Catholic priests. They had sexually abused their young victims who had given them unquestioning trust. I'm talking here about hard-fought, tough investigative journalism, stories that you have to claw out of the earth with your fingernails. Not a sentence of it was fake news. Thank you, Joe. It's been important work. I'm proud of it, but Jack was right. It's been a lot of fun. When I was studying my craft, I had the privilege of learning from a guy who was a legend on this campus. His name was Wilbur Doctor. That's right, Doctor. But there was nothing whimsical about Wilbur. Until he retired in 1983, he struck fear into the hearts of journalism students like me. Wilbur had worked for the Newport Daily News and then at the Providence Journal, where he earned a reputation as someone who could turn fragmented facts into prose that was lyrical and sweet. There was nothing lyrical and sweet about Wilbur Doctor, though. He was gruff. He did not suffer fools gladly. I once brought him a piece I was especially proud of. It was a profile of a friend of mine, John Murphy, a 6'8" forward at the University of Massachusetts with a sweet jump shot and an even sweeter disposition. I gave the piece to Wilbur. I sat there, I watched him read it. Silence. He read some more. Silence. Finally, with hope and pathetic desperation in my voice, I achingly asked, "Isn't it good, Wilbur?" He looked up at me, his brow furrowed, and without a trace of pity, he said, "No, it isn't." Wilbur made you want to do better, and that's what I've tried to do. He also taught me to learn from my mistakes. It was advice that would come in handy a couple years later when I was working for my hometown newspaper. I was the news editor in that tiny newsroom. One winter's day, I think it was 1979, my boss was out sick with a bad back, and I was putting together the front page that day, and I used a large photo, 5 columns wide, depicting a beautiful wintry snow scene behind the local high school. I thought it looked beautiful. A pristine, snow-frosted field. Turns out I did not look closely enough. If I had, I would have seen what was very clearly there in the lower right-hand corner of that photo. It was a 2-word obscenity that someone had stamped out in that frosty field. The second word was "you." The first one rhymed with duck. I called my boss and I said, "Bill, we've got a big problem on page 1 today." There was a pause and I explained the problem, and then Bill said, "Tom, this is not good. But let me tell you something. If the paper is going to come out tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that, learn from this and you'll be okay." I'll never forget that. I had messed up, and his message to me was, we all make mistakes. Don't repeat them. Get better. Move on. That's not a bad message for all of us today. If you're the person delivering the bad news like I was then, you'll be fortunate and always grateful to find a person like Bill on the other end of the line. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard a word I've said so far, if you've been mentally rearranging your sock drawer or wondering whether to get the lobster bisque or the clam chowder at lunch, I'd like to ask for your undivided attention. I'm about to deliver this speech's most important line. 3 words that have thrilled the hearts of commencement audiences down through the generations. They are words that have been known to make grown women swoon and strong men weep. Ready? And in conclusion, I worked a long time on that, thank you. We've arrived at the point in the speech where the Internet Handbook suggests that you make your major point, underline your big message. One suggestion is to go out and change the world. Go out and change the world? Perhaps some of you will do that. I'm sure there are some Bill Gateses and Hillary Clintons in the audience here. But most of us will take smaller bites, bites that are just as important. Change your neighborhood, change your school, change your city council, change your house of worship, change your daycare center, your local library, your senior citizen center, or your local parks and recs department. Light a fire and watch it spread. Whatever you do, don't stand on the sidewalk and watch the protest or the passing parade. Get in there and march. I want to thank you for honoring me today by inviting me back to the university that I love, the university that has shaped who I am. I wish you an afternoon of hugs and handshakes and high fives. I wish you nothing but blue skies and bright horizons. Congratulations and go Rams!
Thank you, Tom. I think you managed to hit the sweet spot of conciseness, whimsy, humor, and inspiration. Thank you very much. Mr. Provost.
Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy please rise? President Dooley, I present to you the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy and ask that you confer on them that degree.
This is the fun part, everybody. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Rhode Island Board of Education and upon the recommendation of the university's faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto, and I congratulate you all on behalf of the entire university. Please approach the stage.
Okay. Ahmad Al-Hassani, Major Professor Valerie Mayer Speradozzi. Mona Al-Hassani, Major Professor William Euler. Beth O'Leary Anish, Major Professor Ryan Trim. Carly Barone, Major Professor Catherine Peterson. Lauren Bowerband, Major Professor Wayne Velleser. Jillian Belanger, Major Professor Carolyn Druschka. Michael Bernstein, Major Professor Lynn Stein. Arzu Bilgin, Major Professor Mustafa Kolanovic. Rachel Basio, Major Professor Valerie Carno. Elizabeth Brannon, Major Professor Serena Mosman-Valtiera. Mingu Chapman, Major Professor William Euler. Jody Clark, Major Professor Teresa Dini. Robert Deering, Major Professor David Rowley. Chinmay Deshpande, Major Professor Cynthia Temkin. It's Terry Dean. Moment pause. Julie DeBari, Major Professor Marie Lynch, hooded by Teresa Dini. Ying Nan Dong, Major Professor Brett Lucht. Daniel Ducharme, Major Professor Lisa DePippo. Mary Jogus, Major Professor Steve Daunt, hooded by David Smith. Justine Agan Kunicki, Major Professor Charles Collier. Asil Eid, Major Professor Nasser Zawiya. Kyle Faust, Major Professor James Prochaska, hooded by David Faust. Zwei. Amy Foley, Major Professors Stephen Barber and Galen Johnson. Grizel Garcia Ramirez, Major Professor Charles Collier. Hi, George. Joseph Jampa, Major Professor Aaron Bradshaw, hooded by George Siatas. Carrie Ann Gill, Major Professor Corey Lang. Andres Gutierrez Nunez, Major Professor Marta Gomez Chiari. Paige Hamilton Reed, Major Professor Gary Stoner. Wilfred Hernandez, Major Professor Wayne Lee. Joyce Hickey, Major Professor Mary Sullivan. Niels Vigo Hobbs, Major Professor Carol Thornburg. Emily Bernali Joseph, Major Professor Paul Florin. Tofik Kayat, Major Professor Mustafa Kalanovich. Maggie Korn, Major Professor Margaret Rogers. Zachary Kanicki, Major Professor Lisa Harlow. Amy Laurent, Major Professor Kathleen Gorman. Imad Maki, Major Professor Aaron Shukla. Okay, thank you. Melissa Marcotte, Major Professor Charles Collier. Deborah Matthews, Major Professor Edmund Lamagna. David McCardle, Major Professor Orlando Marino. Heliomatos, Major Professor Aaron Shukla. Yakar Mazol, Major Professor Peter Cornelian, hooded by David Smith. Pamela McHugh, Major Professor Mary Sullivan. Michelle Meek, Major Professor Jean Walton. Jessica Morgan, Major Professor Yiwa Kweng. Jenna Morton Aiken, Major Professor Carolyn Juszka. Matthew Mullen, Major Professor William Euler. Arash Nazro Shirazi, Major Professor Manbir Sodi. Pratamish Nick Parakar, Major Professor Aaron Shukla. Thomas Newman, Major Professor Kathy Pino. Jarimar Ortiz Frontera, Major Professor Charles Collier. Danielle Oster, Major Professor Lisa Wyatt. Ajinka Marutrao Pawar, Major Professor Ashley Caffrey. Okay. Mohan Pereira, Yana Rushnek, Major Professor. Christopher Pykush, Major Professor Kathleen Donahue. Brittany Poindexter, Major Professor Lisa Harlow. Amanda Ramirez, Major Professor Margaret Rogers. Jamie Remillard, Major Professor Carolyn Drushka. Gabriel Romaguera, Major Professor Valerie Carno. Joseph Schrader, Major Professor Abraham Kavor. Karen Shea, Major Professor Jeremiah Diehouse. Jason Schrantz, Major Professor Naomi Mandel, hooded by Jeremiah Diehouse. Dorothy Skirkowski, Major Professor Paul Florin. Mary Slattery, Major Professor Teresa Dini. Allison Snow, Major Professor Renee Hobbs, hooded by Peter Adamy. Jaidan Sun, Major Professor David Rowley. April Trotman, Major Professor Patricia Morikoff. Chelsea Tucker, Major Professor Susan Loftus-Patan. Hamuda Gana. Thank you. William Visser, Major Professor Hamuda Gonem. Thank you. Zimung Wang, Major Professor Samantha Minnick. Pamela Waters, Major Professor Jay Fogelman. Jen Shi Wei, Major Professor Zahir Sheikh. Charles White, Major Professor Gopupati, hooded by Kathy Ann Clark. Quite a year. Jefferson Wright, Major Professor Aaron Shukla. Ye-E Zhou, Major Professor Paul Larrett and Ashley Caffrey, hooded by Ashley Caffrey. Miriam Yusufov, Major Professor James Prochaska, hooded by Lawrence Grebstein. Yuzi Zhang, Major Professor Arjit Bose, hooded by Brett Luck. Jen Han Zhu, Major Professor Stephen K.
Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice please rise? President Dooley, I present the candidates for the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice and ask that you confer on them that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Education of the State of Rhode Island, upon the recommendation of the university faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto, and I congratulate you on behalf of the entire university.
Amy Kamarowski. David Davis. Marie Gazal. And Julie LaRopa.
Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Physical Therapy please rise? President Dooley, I present to you the candidates for the degree Doctor of Physical Therapy and ask you confer on them that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Education of the State of Rhode Island, and upon the recommendation of the university faculty, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Physical Therapy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto, and I congratulate you on behalf of the entire university. Please approach the stage where you'll be hooded by the Provost and the Chair of the Department of Physical Therapy, Jeff Cronin. All right, you got 34 this time, Mr. Provost.
Yes. I'm getting a little soggy.
That one word was apparently as tight as knots.
Yeah. You gotta get even with Rachel for that.
Leila Almadali. Michael Visconti. Brendan Boyle. Michelle Brown. Carl Bush. Philip Chang. Destiny Sharino. Caitlin Cleverton. Peter Dionysopoulos. Tab. Megan Donnelly. Alyssa Grishchuk. Coral Hines. Peter Huang. Catherine Johnson. Kendra Lynn Kohansky. Lauren LaPierre. Kyle Lopresti. Anne Lockhart. Paige Madison. Sandra Maliangos. Cami Marler. Laura Mensner. That's it. Patrick Motel. Brian Palmer. Elizabeth Patron. Jeffrey Faneff. Timothy Ramos. Desiree Santanello. Julia Slakowski. Marissa Samersky. Chelsea Sweetman. Nicole Washkovitz. And Lacey Young.
President Dooley, I now present to you the candidates who will be certified by the university for the master's degrees. This year at the master's level, we would like to recognize the first graduates of our new programs in dietetics and the professional science masters in cybersecurity. After rising, I ask the candidates for each master's degree to remain standing until the degrees are conferred. Will the candidates for the Masters of Arts degree please rise? Will the candidates for the Masters of Science degree please rise? Will the candidates for the Masters of Business Administration please rise? Will the candidates for the Master of Environmental Science and Management please rise? Will the candidates for the Master of Library and Information Studies please rise? Will the candidates for the Masters of Marine Affairs please rise? Will the candidates for the Master of Music please rise? Will the candidates for the Masters of Public Administration please rise? And will the candidates for the Professional Science Masters please rise? President Dooley, I present to you these candidates for the master's degrees in course and ask that you confer on them their degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Rhode Island Board of Education of the State of Rhode Island, and upon the recommendation of the university faculty, I hereby confer upon you the master's degree with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto, and I extend to you the congratulations of the entire university. Congratulations.
Masters, please be seated.
Eric Anderson. Rebecca Arenas. Leslie Baker. Sarah Benson. Christine Butker. William Bowden. Jennifer Brayton. Alexis Carlson. Mohammed Falahaya. Kara Clayton. Megan Rose Costello. Nicholas Coulomb, Rachel D. Cataldo, Catherine Denman, Lydia De Palma, Mohamed Febri Anor. Oh. Okay, sorry. Lauren Fermansky. Evangelista? Okay. Evangelisa Fusekis. Margaret Frost. Nicole Gerard. Nadine Gregg. Lorena Henderson. Nicole Hawking. Ashley Holm. Jared Jacobone. Abigail Jaffa. Heather Kinney. Danica Korpatz. Charlotte Kugler. Amanda Lane. Audra Lavoie. Rachel Lawrence. Ji Lee. Kyle Lindsay. Yiping Ma. Tiffany McClay. Sarah Metzner. Marie Montiero Mello. Is that okay? Are you Kristen? Morel. Christian Morel. Lauren Morris. Caitlin Morrissey. Joshua Muniz. Susan Munson. Paula Murray. Luz Nunez. Carrie O'Donnell. Jamie Pierce. Nancy Rabidou. Ashley Rassicott. Chelsea Radigan. Michael Romano. Caitlin Ross. Wendy Lynn Russell. Jessica Sanfilippo. Darlene Stearns. Alexa Sterling. Megan Strauman. Jeanette Valanek. Dora Vesquez Hellner. Victoria Vetrosky. Lu Yu Zhu. Ji Yu Zheng. Okay. All set. Aaron Abrahamson. Haley Anderson. Christy Antonocci. Coretta Antwi. Glorine Beauport. Amy Benavides. Joshua Bennett. Caitlin Bennett. Taryn Bishop. Alexander Blanchette. Julie Braza. Alyssa Brown. Ryan Bucci. Susan Burgoyne. John Butler. Flavia Cataneo. Naveed Chapman. Isha Chug. Coach. Julia Coach. Joanne Craig. Seth Crino. Jillian D'Angelo. Charlie Shen De Leon. Patrick Degnan. Nicholas DiNardo. Jason Dollard. Kevin Donnellan. Chelsea Duvall. Jeannie Mae Durfee. Megan Dyer. Joseph Erickson. Fallon? Pauline Fallon. Caitlin Fitzpatrick. Christopher Franklin Jr. Justice Frentz. Christopher Frink. Sean Gallagher. Jessica Garvey. Anna Gerber Williams. Azur Juru. Marlena Giuliari. Jennifer Goodwin. Allison Green. Madison Gurka. Desmond Giampfi. Brittany Hardrow. Syed Amir Hassan. Michael Hurchin. Abraham Herrera. Nicholas Hetland. Herman Hoffman. Merrill Hoffman. Davis Highland. Jerry Jaffa. Casey Johnson. Anthony Johnson. Brett Johnson. Jaywatsala Kanagaratnun. I did. Scott Karras. Victoria Kern, Elizabeth Kaur, Boma Kresning, Brittany Lancelotti, Alana Lawrence, Leach, Taylor Leach, Lepay, Sylvia Lepay, Rebecca Levine, Carlene Lopez, Chelsea Lopez, Matthew Luca, Fabian Ludwig, Andrea Marr, Alexandra Maza, Samantha McAllister, Alexander McDonough, Christian Mejia, Megan Merlino, Kara Mueller, Samantha Moraes, Erica Munoz, Ashley Norian, Sandra Willett, Tommy Oyekan, Danielle Pacheco, Emily Paola, Megan Payne, Abigail Riley, Francis Riley, Emily Renna, Marissa Roginski, Brooke Russell, Kayla Serrett, I can't compete, Lauren Schambach, Jan Schumacher, Emily Sermon, Maria Shanahan, Catherine Shea, Carrie Silva, Sam Slazak, Timothy Smith, Jamira Suarez, Alexandra Stanton, Alexander Stott, Sarah Summerly, Selvan Tamamilve, apologies, Samantha Tai, Trahan, Courtney Trahan, Ariel Vaca, Nina Vadnais, Eric Vaught, Krista Virga, Jonathan Vosia, Sarah Wargis, Mundeke Wembo, Helen Whitlock, Caitlin Wittet, Michaela Wilcox, Shane Wilson, Frederica Wolf, Zhanjin Zhu, Lavina Abdallah. Sandra Amaro. Jennifer Caldwell. Kristen Cesaroni. Emily Kutu. Matthew Cuddy. Caitlin Eggerman. Emmanuel Fridman. Ian Gannon. Or Ian, my apologies. Ian. Todd Gilbert. Megan Grand Maison. Alicia Hall. Nicole Knowles. Erica Mashansky. Ryan Mitchner. Hirsch Patel. Robin Taser Pittman. Maura Quigley. Paula Ramirez. Wait. Christine Tolson. Gregory Tolson. Stefan Begson. Ryan Choppy. Brandy Lynn Colaconi. Jamie Holmes. Robbie Hudson. Mary Kate Kane. Carissa Kotsky. Rita Lavoie. Nicole Laparachi. Richard Moore. Anga Nugraha. Mohammed Prayoga. Antonius Sirigar. Paulina Supin. Augustinian Siarib. Andrew Timmis. Hario Yuono. Sarah Arujo, my apologies. Thomas Bear. Emily Colucci. Sherry Kim Jackson. Megan Joseph. Rachel Pinter. Catherine Potter. Gretchen Sotomayor. Alyssa Taft. Alyssa Valcourt. Leanne Verville. Stephanie Walsh. Chelsea Nicole Watts. Audra Williamson. Kimberly Zemsky. And Emily Jemba. Music. Kevin Entwistle. And Danielle Grilly. Kelsey Hopkins. Amanda Coussard. Leland Smith. Mark Zandwitz. Benoit? Lauren Benoit. Sean Duffy. Stephen Tadros. Diogenes Kapayan. Patricia Casey. Gary Chavez. May DeGala. Lynn Finnegan. Brian Gendro. Donald Mangiarelli. Courtney Miner. Marjorie Narcisse. Tracy Lee Quinton. Cynthia Stanton. Paul Perrone. And Jeremy Jordan.
Would you please rise for the alma mater, which will be sung by Daniele Grilli, Czech class of 2017. Words are found on page 2 of your program. I would like to invite all of you to the President's reception at Hope Commons. You may leave your vehicles where they are presently parked. There will be signage, ushers, and transportation to direct you to the reception. I now declare the 2017 graduate commencement ceremonies officially closed.